Has there ever been regret expressed by people in high office in China in regard to the one-child policy and how it was implemented?
I think regret is not a mode that the Communist Party plays in very often. I think it is really difficult to see any instances of anything like a real apology from the Communist Party in any of the traumas it has visited upon the Chinese people. Now, the one-child policy was, I think, the biggest trauma of the 1980s. The 1980s was the decade when Deng Xiaoping started to dismantle some of the socialist infrastructure in China, and so people started having market freedom as well as losing a lot of jobs. But the one-child policy was a campaign of rural terror that visited so many horrors upon the bodies of women in particular in rural areas. But that is perhaps still not as bad as the Cultural Revolution that Mao visited upon the people, which perhaps is still not as bad as the Great Leap Forward that Mao visited as well. And so regret is not something that comes very naturally to them. I think the party line on the one-child policy is still that China's population was too big, that the population needed to be reduced, that look at how overcrowded all of these cities were. Although I would say that the overcrowding and all of the problems of production were that China was in a rigid socialist system that was unable to produce very much of anything at all. But there's certainly a sense that the country needs more people today. And the great irony here is that the Chinese have decided that population is once more an engineering problem. First, they engineered the population for it to go down substantially through this campaign of rural terror, namely the one-child policy. But now they are trying to encourage people to get married, make it quite difficult for them to leave a bad marriage, even the cases of abuse, and to really try to have this sort of propaganda and rhetoric out there to make people much more interested in having children. And so perhaps we can see that the irony is that they have not learned very much at all.